Okay, so I wanted to just talk about like the situation of like Man United and Tottenham because I feel like they're very interesting in how similar they are, but the similarities are very how you say very like intricate, I guess. Well, not intricate. It's like it's a different kind of problem, but it leads to the same result. Because from my view as a neutral, because I'm neither Man United nor Tottenham. I do enjoy watching Tottenham play, but like I'm an Aston Villa fan. You know, up the Villa, always and forever, and in Unai we trust. Um, but like for me, watching Tottenham specifically, it's a situation where the tactics work. There needs to be an extra something, you know, like in case of emergency, break this and like break glass, and you know, now we're doing this now. And a lot of the personnel, I don't know, it's like the tactics work, they do work, and some of the players are really good, and like it makes sense to stick with them. Maybe you need to go in and buy a couple of new players, but like I think their problem is that their manager, or not their manager, their ownership. So Daniel Levy, he just he's the worst kind of capital. He's the worst kind of capitalist because, and I say this because, and the worst actually no, yeah, he's the worst kind of capitalist, and he's the worst kind of, and he's probably the worst person to own a club, if we're being honest, because from everything I have seen and read and watched when it comes to the Premier League, the aim of the game is to spend and spend like wisely. You can't sort of half-ass it, and I think he's been half-assing it, if we're being honest, because yeah, he'll spend money on players. You know, he bought Dominic Solanke for 60 million. Got thingy Richarlison for about the same. Like he'll spend the money, and he'll. I guess this may be a talent ID in some ways because they got Bergval and Odebear and so on and so forth. Like they got all these players, and they'll probably come good in like the next season or two. But like it, Tottenham, I don't know if he knows this, but like Tottenham is a big six club. Like I don't think he's aware of the actual stakes. Like he's only seeing the money come in and you know the money machine go burr. But it's like a lot. You are in conversations to win the league. Granted, people immediately just laugh when that's said, but like there's like a split second where people take that seriously because you're a big team. And it's just like it doesn't seem like he knows that, you know. Like I watch Expressions Oozing, like I'm a big subscriber or a big fan, and it's like you can see he knows that he knows the stakes because he has to live through being a Tottenham fan, and like having and putting that on your chest. So it's interesting to see that not register with like the ownership, because how is it that you're not like sure Odebear is good, but like you know you could get actual players, like not kids. You could actually get players. You have that motion. You're a big team. I don't like you have motion in all in this thing. Like genuinely, there's genuine motion when it comes to Tottenham. So why would you not support them financially as the person who has the bag, unless you're just using this a financial tool and not as like you're not in it for the love of the game, which is I guess bearing fruit more and more. You know, like just spend money, literally. And then Man United, I think they've they grew too complacent in being on top, and I think now you would Amarim is that. Well, I mean, to be fair, it started the moment Ronaldo said something, but it's like even then people already knew, and I don't know, I don't. Man United is such a weird club to talk about because it's like, and this is if you, I guess if you've ever seen me before and like when I was on what do you call it, DR Sports, when they were while they were doing that call-in show, but it's like there's it's very difficult to talk about them because they're always on the cusp of getting a new manager or always in transition as a club. So it's like, what's the point of talking about them? Because in like 3 weeks, they'll be saying, Amarim out, get rid of Ineos, what else? Get the Glazers out, burn Old Trafford. Like it's always just, it's never normal. So like, how do you talk about them? What's the way you talk about Man United? Do I just talk about it day by day? Like, is that how you do it? Then like, because that sounds very frustrating. I don't think about Villa as much as Man United fans think about Man United, it seems, because like steady. Yeah, we need to go. Villa needs to just, on the one hand, go into the market and like really do something, but I know because we're not like big like that. You know what I mean? We're liable to run into PSR more quickly. At least that's what it feels like, because I'm scared for Nottingham Forest if they end the league like anywhere of note, because it's like, how do you manage? How do you kind of, how does PSR work? Because Tottenham, maybe not Tottenham because their banking is sound, but like Man United, Chelsea, all these clubs will spend ridiculous amounts of money, and you're just like, but you got me on like a suspect charge from 10 years ago. I think that was the situation with Everton. Like, they got because of something that happened 10 years ago for a player who's not even in the club anymore. So it's just like, how does all of this work actually? Because it feels like if I'm not someone who finishes top four, or who doesn't finish top four, like if I'm not a big six club, and also not like a money machine in the case of Tottenham, then like I just get got. Like it feels like it's two different systems for within the English footballing system, and it does get very frustrating to like read about your club getting shaken because this rule that everybody else broke it has been applied to you now, you know, and it's very frustrating. But I think back to Man United, just give Amarim time, because that's a manager that you hold on to. I think there's because Man United cycle through so many, you can kind of see there's just, for better or worse, they have a good manager ID, because almost every manager has been good. They just haven't had the time, and the ones who have had time I think weren't worth it. Like those were the managers that you should have like clipped. Whereas Van Gaal, Mourinho, um, Solskjaer, had his moments. Rude in his spell. Granted, he's a caretaker, so it's not that like sensational, but like rude. I feel like I'm missing someone, but the point is that like the managers are good. It's just that sometimes they're not given enough time, and they almost always win something, which is interesting. Like you have it, like obviously you're Man United, but it's like you never give managers enough time to like show you this is what I'm actually about. Because I don't think you gave Van Gaal enough time. Granted, he did. Actually, not Van Gaal. Solskjaer. I don't think he was given enough time. And it's just a little more time would have probably done something. And like a little more backing as well financially. But that's me. But I think if Ruben Amorim, the Margiela madman, arriving at Maybucks and mugging bitches, I guess, if he's given the time and the permission to sort of rip this club apart, low key, because that's what he kind of has to do. At least the team he has to rip apart, and like he can form it properly. You will probably win the league in like a season or two, like if he's actually given the room, because you don't like dominate the way he did in Portugal just like off of jokes, you know what I mean? Maybe there's tax on it because it's the Portuguese league, but it's like it's still a big deal. Like he did something down there. Well, I guess up there from my perspective, but it's like so you should take that into consideration before you have your 900th emergency meeting about like what the situation is. Also, sell Rashford. It's time to go. And it's okay. It's okay that it's time to go, but like sell him. It's done. It's done. It's done. I think certain players you have to just when it's curtain call, it's curtain call, and that's okay. It's actually okay. And I say this kind of like even to Villa in a sense, because it's like not Douglas Luiz, Diego Carlos. Granted, you see, I'm conflicted, and I this is where I sympathize or I empathize with Man United fans. It's like Douglas Luiz, like Diego Carlos has his Bozo moments, but he's really good. He's human, so obviously he's gonna have Bozo moments, but I think it's just the frequency. So it's like, and you can kind of see it's the same sort of situation with Rashford. It's like he's really good. It's just I think the relationship has gotten stale, and maybe it's time for them to explore other ventures. If not, just maybe temper expectations in terms of like your playing time. But I don't know though, because like there's a difference between an attacker and a defender. Like defenders, you can there's things you can do, I think. Whereas an attacker, it's like your whole job is to score goals or facilitate scoring goals, and Rashford isn't doing that. And it's like it looks as though he's not on the pitch at all. Like he's just kind of he's there he's signing in and then signing out. Like he's just kind of there for numbers, which is very weird to say. But like, yeah, sometimes it's okay to hang it up. Just cut it.